Good morning traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. Welcome to this week's Trade Zone Asian session update. So we're just looking at how things have started for the week, and we're going to just touch on any things that really caught our eye, and we're going to have two-part videos as usual, with the economic outlook video coming out a little bit later today, followed by a market update as well, if we see something that is worth reporting on in terms of setup or a market event. So this morning so far we are seeing not a lot of key gains from risk markets. We are seeing the Aussie dollar trading probably leading the race at the moment, and trading firmer to the USD and the Japanese yen, and we're also seeing the pound and the euro trading slightly higher. The euro is flat at this stage this morning. Some of the US indexes have started out higher. Now they were very mixed on Friday. We saw the NDX finish firmer, but we did see losses on the Dow. So the Dow lost around 330 points on Friday, and at this stage in the morning, that started the week higher, and we can see that move there, and it was a pretty key move. So after we did see Thursday's session break through key support, we had that real follow-up on Friday with that real strong move down. So just to put this move in perspective at the moment, we're talking about a move that's now into that 10% point against on the US 30. So any time generally an index drops 10%, it's sort of seen as correction territory. So it is outside that territory this morning, but yeah, on Friday into Saturday, it was definitely seen in correction territory, and the Nasdaq also got into that area as well. So just looking here, there's no real key support where it's bounced from, but we just continue to look at the new rallies that form. If they do, form things, patterns like this, or that one's a bit more drawn out, but similar to this setup here and this setup here, and we just have those lower highs with new pushes down. So if you do have a breaker trend, and then you have a single bar plus a new push down, that's something to watch out for as well. It could be setting up a bull trap, and then we'll see a new extension lower. So we're going to continue to watch some of these rallies this week, and just to see if buyers are able to find some footing, or if we do continue to see bull traps with new lower lows. So this would be really the key low that we'd look at if we did get down to, and that's around that 31,846 area. Now, some of the other markets say, so oil had a very firm into the week, but in terms of price action, it's really still rather choppy. We can see this range here. This is after a trend break. It's after a lower high, but for now, sellers just can't really get that next job done, with really strong support all the way down to 83 and all the way up to 84, sort of 60, and we've been seeing this for a few days last week now. There's a bit of a stalemate going on with oil, with neither side really able to get control at this point. So the other market as well that's been really seeing some of the influences from what's going on with the instability in the Middle East at the moment has been gold, and we had a very firm session on Friday as well to end the week, and this week so far, at the start of the week this week, we're not seeing too much just yet. We've seen a bit of a decline, but it's sort of flat at the moment. So gold on Friday got all the way back up to 2,000, which is a pretty key level, and I think mentally for the market, 2,000 is a big number. We can see in this area here, every time we have gone above 2,000, it hasn't been for too long. We have had a few sessions above it. When that real big key move above it, we all know when that was, earlier in the year, and we saw that really big decline after that move. So I think that'll be the one to watch this week. How does gold go above 2,000? Do we see a new move back up above to test 2020, 2030? And we'll continue. Keep an eye on gold during this trading week, with some pretty key news coming out this week as well. So it's going to be a busier week data-wise. So there could be a few influences, especially for gold, for the US indices and the dollar USDX. So with the dollar at the moment, we still see key resistance here at 106.75. Haven't been able to get the close above it for a good period of time now. There's further resistance up at 107.04 and support down at 105.53. There's a little bit of demand coming in around this area here at 106.20 as well. Well, we see that key level really down here and that key resistance here. So I think we'll be waiting to see what the next real key, key move from the dollar is and what impact that will have on some of the other risk currencies. So the Aussie, for instance, so we were talking it up earlier. It really did have a pretty average week last week, testing that key support. It has bounced off that support, and we are seeing a move that would really need to beat this level of resistance at 0.6362 to really show the buyers are back in control. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to look at from this range-based point of view, and the euro as well. So even though we'll just update that one. So even though we are seeing a bit of supply coming in above this area here into 0.587 to 90, and we do see some support at 0.555, it's really pretty much in a bit of a whipsaw at the moment, and we're not really seeing too much movement. So like the Aussie, we really need to see some direction at the moment just to sort of break out of this range. That range is really just in this area here. So that's where it comes back to the US dollar, just finding some direction. And with some of the key data and some figures coming out this week, we could really we could see that, and we could get a bit of direction, hopefully, depending on what comes out. The dollar CAD has been rocketing up of late now. It's been enjoying a bit of indecision with oil, and it's also been the dollar hasn't been the strongest, but it has been feeding off that as well. And we can see that it did break this high here at 1.3862, and it's back above that this morning in this morning's trade. So we'll continue to just watch that one. With some of the influences coming out this week, we'll just see if it can maintain that move above that high. Now, now some of the other indexes. So the ASX 200. Now, after a pretty horrible week last week, we'll see what's next. Now, if US indexes can find some return to form, that should feed into that. We had higher than expected CPI last week. Now, I think that also played a bit of a role. And with stocks coming off globally, it hasn't done the ASX really any favors. So the one this morning, we'd probably be looking at further weaker leads with the Dow, even though the futures are a little bit higher. We'll watch how they get to around 10 a.m. this morning, and then if that does support some buying, but yeah, we do think there will be the possibility of weaker open after weaker leads on Friday night, excluding tech stocks, obviously. And as well with the JPN 225 and with the yen pairs, we do have the Bank of Japan this week from memory. So there is a bit of support here on the JPN 225. We can see 30.556 at the moment, but resistance up at 39.88 and again at 31.290. So with some of the yen pairs, like the dollar against the dollar, they are trading slightly higher, but it doesn't. Trends aren't really fantastic at the moment. We can see the Aussie is very range bound like it is against the dollar, and a similar story against the euro, even though it did try to get some traction going after that breakout that failed pretty quickly once it got above this above that resistance at 159.70. We've seen a pullback, and we're just sitting pretty much range bound at the moment. And with the pound this morning as well, we can see just a bit of support at 181.12 and resistance again at 183.68. So range bound as well as as the other two. Cryptos this morning are trading higher. Now they had a really solid week last week, and we can see a little bit of more, after we had a bit of a softer end to the week last week, we can see that feed up over the weekend, and this morning we are seeing further buying. So we're seeing at 34.699 as resistance, and Ethereum this morning is 0.5% higher, and similar to Bitcoin, it is trying to punch into that that supply area here around 1800, and we'll see how it goes if it can get back up to test some of last week's highs in the those mid 1800 areas. And some of the others that we'll look at, Ripple
higher again, similar to the other two currencies. We just want to see a break of this area here at 56, and Solana is trading at 32 at this stage. It is putting in a new higher high this morning after, sorry, it is not putting a new higher high. It's put in a very solid session yesterday, and like the other coins I've been looking at, we'll see if it can get up and test some of last week's highs. So that's really it for this morning. So crypto is trading firm. We are seeing a little bit of weakness in precious metals. Oil, we'll see how it opens. So US or USD hasn't opened just yet, and we are seeing higher US indexes futures, and we'll see how that feeds into the ASX this morning. And at this stage, we are seeing a bit of mixed trade at the moment to the dollar. So a bit of a mixed open there, but with plenty of data and news to come up. Now we will do a economic outlook video a little bit later today. So I'll wrap that up here. Thank you very much for your time. All the best for your trading this week. Thank you for checking out today's update, and all the best. Thank you.